If you're following a vein of gold and the reef is straight and there is no major disturbance, you won't discover major value. Gold, as it was traveling to the surface of the earth, when it got to the place where there was a bend, because it's heavy, most of it settled there in places of brokenness. Your weakness is your parachute. Your weakness is your pocket. If a reef traveled comfortably with no disturbance from the country rock, no interference, no one talks about you, your life is straightforward, everyone loves you like Father Christmas. I'm telling you, my brother, if you're going to go underground, the reef that is going to pay you the most is the most broken one. Yeah. It has had multiple problems. When fractures are multiple, money gets multiplied. Your value will settle in those places of brokenness. What they did to you, they created a parachute. Show me the people that are against you, and I'll show you where you're going. Show me the size of your enemies, and I will show you how big you are. There will come a day, some of you will wish they had broken you even more. Be seated, please. It's a matter of time. It's a matter of... Today it's a problem. You are crying because of brokenness. Something happened to me. Wait until some of us come. We know how to inspect. Somebody who knows, who understands mining, will look for a place, will look for a seam, will look for a reef that has had multiple episodes of brokenness. And it will be declared even as a national resource. Right now, as you get persecuted, understand that your glory is rising. Your value is going up. Now, I've shown you two places where to find the gold. You find it in the river. How high is the river? Lowest places. And when you get into the ground, you find the gold in the reef. The one that's broken carries most of the gold. Are you listening to me? Be seated, please. Today, if you're going to build a house, for the house to be very expensive, you require expensive materials. It is the material that you use that will result in the value of the property that you build. Marble is very expensive. You can pay up to $500, $600 per square foot. Any other stone with no experience, it can cost you maybe $70. Why marble? It's a metamorphic rock. It was once a different rock. What you see today is not what it was yesterday. It was once a limestone. And And then it got subjected to heat. It became a marble as a result of its reaction to pressure. How you react, how you respond to heat. And all of a sudden, because of what the marble, what the rock went through, the value of the rock goes up. Because of what you'd have experienced. So the marble is going to glory in tribulations. Had it not been for the heat, I wouldn't be in palaces today. Isn't that what the Bible declares, that a spider that works with his hands is in king's palaces today? A spider. That's your Bible.
Proverbs 30 verse 28.
Yes.
The spider taketh hold with her hands and is in king's palaces.
You want to go to the state house, you have to make a booking. There must be you go through a lot before you're cleared. I'm telling you tonight, there are spiders as we speak. There are rats in palaces. There are cockroaches in every palace. These other creatures, they seem to know how to find their way into prominent places. But the writer is saying, as long as the spider knows how to work with his hands, don't call them legs, hands. It was not because the spider had legs to walk into the palace. The spider had hands. You can work your way into the palace if you know how to work with your hands. Marble is in the house as we speak. Most of the rocks are experiencing the cold as we speak. Why? Because the rest of the rocks, they were not willing to go through tribulation that was meant for a short season. Granite is there, but we have marble, and it's more expensive. So every marble that you'll find has a history to tell. I went through a lot. I was not like this. So this is what is going to happen. So coming out of this camp meeting, and you are going back, there's no way we can come back here and we see you the same way that you are today. Can I do to someone here? Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Why should we glory? Why should I glory? Prophet, what kind of a message is this? Why should I glory in tribulations? Because now I know what it works. I'm celebrating, I'm rejoicing over what I'm going through because now I know. Before, I used to pray against these things, but now that I know, I rejoice and I glory. The more they persecute, the more I increase. Have you ever wondered why Jesus said, never should you cast your pearls before swine? When he said, don't cast your pearls before swine, I understand both the figurative explanation or even the spiritual meaning of the text. But why would Jesus say, do not cast your pearls before swine? And he tells you what the swine are going to do to the pearls. Now, follow me on something here. Follow. Attention, please, attention. He's not even calling those pearls. He's not saying, do not cast the pearls of an oyster before the swine. You know an oyster? Huh? You know that kind of a fish with shells. That's where you find what? Pearls. And he's not saying you don't cast their pearls before this. He's saying your pearls before swine. Follow me. Yes. Follow me. Follow me. There is no pearl that you will find. There is no oyster. If you're going to get into the sea, into the river, and if you're ever going to find an oyster with a pearl was the oyster's reaction to an infection. When something gets into the body of the oyster, even a grain of sand, that becomes a foreign body. Yeah. And when that thing starts to irritate the oyster is going to react, not in form of tears. The fluid is called nacre. Nacre. Now, when you see a pearl, pearls are expensive. Some have been sold on the market on auction for 5 million. I know another one for 20 million. It was not man-made. It was made by an oyster which had an affliction. So when a grain of sand, anything that gets into the body of the oyster and it starts to irritate that little creature, the creature is going to say, okay, what can I do to eject this foreign body? Because I cannot vomit it out. What am I going to do? There is a liquid that it will start to release. And it comes in form of droplets, coating that little thing. It's a problem. It's a problem, my brother, that you have. It's a challenge that you have. The reaction of an oyster is to try by all means to make that problem one with itself. Since I cannot delete my history, I cannot correct what has already happened to me. But God has given me a nacre. It's a liquid in me. My reaction to that problem, yes, I'm infected today. If you come 7 years later, what you're going to find is no longer a grain of sand in my body. It's a pearl. It's a pearl. Am I talking to somebody? Now, you cannot open an oyster and you find 5 pearls unless that oyster had 5 afflictions. The number of pearls, you're not following this. The number, you can tell. The more these foreign bodies get, you can open one oyster and find 7 pearls. And you know that one pearl, that one oyster with 7 pearls is more expensive than an oyster with no pearl. Because that oyster has never had an experience, no affliction, no tribulation, no infection, more problems, more value. Are you listening to me? Right now, if we were to look at you, so I know some of you, problems that you have faced in your life, you have suffered more than your father. That's why sometimes when we come to church, you don't look at somebody sitting next to you. I'm not saying he's not an oyster, but I'm sure he's an oyster, but as of experiences, we are coming from different backgrounds. I have a lot of things that I had to deal with personally. Today, I have more pearls because of the experiences that I've had in my life. This is why when I come to the house of God, I know the reason why I'm here. I've gone through a lot. Your neighbor needs to understand this part. Your neighbor needs to understand you cannot have 10 pearls having had one infection. This revelation, if some of you are going to get an understanding of this revelation, the more you'd rather open your shell for more problems to come in. Okay, all right. Now, this market is now a 50 to 60 billion dollar market. Why? Because somebody are running this even as a project. But the question is, how do they get the oysters to create the pearls? They don't wait for nature to take its course. They harvest those oysters that are not sick, and they physically afflict. They introduce manually problems. Manually, if you had an understanding of the glory of tribulations, you would even create problems for yourself. So they take them one after the other and they inject a problem. And they wait for the oyster to react. And that reaction of an oyster to a situation, to a problem, will become the value of the oyster. The reaction, it's how you react, it's how you respond to problems in life that will add to your value. It's how you respond. What comes out of you is it complains. You have to be able to release the naka. So 10 years from now, you open me up, you won't see a foreign body. You see something that looks exactly like me. God has given you the neka, an ability to blend with your situation. They find you smiling and they wonder, how come you have no problems? No, problems, they look just like me. Are you following this? Now, so you have been praying against problems.